It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. That is brand new music from the band The Unity. The name of that tune is We Don't Need Them Here. The name of the album is Pride. And on the line right now is the pride of The Unity, as well as a for Primal Fear, and he's been with Gamma Ray, and he's definitely a heavy metal hero of sorts. He is Michael Ehre. Michael, how are you, man?
Hey, Chris, nice to talk to you. Hey, everybody, every listener from the Classic Metal Show. Good to be here. Thank you.
Well, it's good to have you, Michael. As I told you right before we started, I don't think I've ever spoken to you before, and that seems to be a crime considering not only the other bands that you've been in, but the Unity, which I really honestly had not heard until recently. What a great band, man.
Thank you so much. And you know what? Better late than never. So,
and the nice thing is I'm not too late. I mean, you're on your third record now. It's not like you have 15 albums and I'd never heard any of them. So.
And you also have a good excuse because I mean, this is the third album in 3 years. So, we were pretty busy the last 3 years, and so it's not a big deal if you never heard of us. We're still on a mission to make this name bigger and bigger and make the band more famous, and just the way it is.
Sure. Now, how hard is that, Michael, to get the name out there? I mean, certainly the press people, the publicists and whatnot will push the fact that you've been in, Gamma Ray, Primal Fear, etc., and that other members have been in other bands as well. But that does not necessarily always lead to people saying, oh, well, let me give this a chance. How hard has it been for you to get the name out there?
Yeah, you're right. Because, I mean, Henny and me, we are still in Gamma Ray, though there's nothing really happening at the moment because this Halloween reunion is going on. But I mean, it was a help for us to be member of Gamma Ray, to make the people get a little bit curious about the band. But on the other hand, it's not that the people automatically like what you're doing, because what we are doing with the Unity is quite different to what we're doing with Gamma Ray, and this was what we wanted to do, because I mean nobody needs Gamma Ray 2.0, so it was clear when we start something new besides Gamma Ray. We have to make something that is not too similar to Gamma Ray, because nobody needs it. Gamma Ray is the original. We with the Unity want to be also an original band, and so on the one hand it was helpful to be a member of Gamma Ray, but on the other hand it was also kind of, let me say, not pressure is the wrong word, but it doesn't necessarily mean that if you're playing in a, let's say, well-known band, that the other things that you're doing, that the people also like and buy it. So they have to get used to it, that their faces that they know from Gamma Ray are in another band, and we also had to really fight to tell the people that this is not a project like a studio thing or something. That's why we played tons of shows and tons of festivals the last 3 years, and we did the third album in 3 years to show that this is really something serious. And this is nothing like a side project of the two Gamma Ray guys. That would be really unfair to say something like this, because it's a real band.
Sure. And the thing that I think is most unique is people, just like you said, people will look at the band because they are fans of Gamma Ray, and that's great. But the Unity does not sound a whole lot like Gamma Ray at all. You guys, if nothing else, the spectrum of musical styles that you attempt is so much bigger. I mean, Gamma Ray, you know what you're getting. You're getting, traditional power metal. And with the Unity, you have a lot of songs that do not fall necessarily into that category. You have stuff that's absolutely radio friendly. You have some stuff that's absolutely hard hitting metal, but you really tackle a lot of styles.
Yeah, yeah. And this is something, or this is one of the reasons why we called this album Pride. Because I mean, we are not deaf or something. We know when we hear our stuff that we have a big variety in our songwriting. I mean, this is caused by the fact that um, we are a six-piece band, but we have five songwriters in the band,
Okay.
and this is a big luxury. Because if you have only one or two guys in the band that are responsible for the songwriting, yeah, you don't have that variety. But on the other hand, the big challenge for the Unity was with these five songwriters to have something like um, a unique sound.
Mhm.
Um, that this variety in the songwriting um, shouldn't let me say shouldn't confuse the people. You know,
Okay.
if you on the one hand have a song like Scenery of Hate, which is pure metal, and two songs later you have something like You Don't Walk Alone, which sounds a little bit like Bryan Adams, um, then there's a big risk that the people say, hey, come on, man, what's this? What kind of band is this? Is this a metal band? Is this a hard rock band? Is it an AOR band? What is it? And I think the good thing about Unity is that we always manage to sound like a band, and not like five songwriters who mix up their ideas and put it together on one record, and then you don't know what you get. No, it's always every song is sounding like Unity, and this is something that we're really proud of.
Sure. Now, Michael, I've been around creative people for a long time, and I know for a fact that when you have a lot of creative ideas coming together, that a lot of times creates, I don't want to say problems, but definitely
Yeah,
arguments or whatnot. How have you
sure.
guys been able to avoid internal struggle with five songwriters?
um I think one of the main reasons is that we are all, let's say, not 20 years old anymore.
Hey,
we are more in the 50s area, more or less. Uh, so we are all adults. We know we are grown-up people. We can discuss. We won't fight. We
right.
will discuss. And in the end, there's one guy in the band, which is me, who decides, okay, let's do it like this. You always have to have one, because otherwise you won't come to an end. And everybody is absolutely 100% fine with my decisions. And this is the next thing that we are proud of, because we are really a grown-up band. We are not kids that fight for every little detail and fight for every idea to be on the album. We are always thinking about having the best product, let me say it this way, because it's not only a record, it's also the artwork, it's the sound, it's everything. It's the way you present yourself on stage. And so you want to have the best product possible, and they trust me, and this is really cool. So we don't have any problems with that.
Sure. And now you mentioned the artwork too, and I wanted to address that with you because the artwork, and again, it goes back to what people know versus, what is real.
Yeah.
When you look at Gamma Ray has such a unique set of art that is, you look at a record and you don't even need to see the name on
Band
it to
name.
know that
Yeah.
it's Gamma Ray. You know,
Yeah.
Unity has a very different, not different art and a different feel to it. It just feels like a different thing, which I know is what you're going for. But did you work with the artist to purposely not create such an iconic view artistically?
I mean, when we started this Unity band 4 years ago, we also thought about having something like like Iron Maiden has with Eddie, or like Gamma Ray has with the Fang face, that
Yeah.
you always recognize immediately when you see it. And we thought about it, but when we discussed it, we came to the conclusion that if you start such a thing, I like that. But if you start such a thing, you are stuck in that. And our way of let me say, our way of working with a band is like I said, we are grown-up people and we have a different approach to the band. Like let me say, it sounds maybe a little weird, but we have a different approach, like a band like Gamma Ray. So we didn't want to get stuck into such iconic things. We just wanted to be free to do what we want from album to album. I mean, we have this Unity logo, which is which you recognize immediately. So, and we have some kind of sign that we established the last years, and that's it. We don't want something like Eddie. I wouldn't say we would never do it, but when we discussed it a couple of years ago, we all agreed not to have it, because I like bands, let me say, like Pretty Mates. They don't have it. They don't need it.
Sure.
I like bands like the artwork for Gotthard. They always have cool ideas and sometimes really simple, but very effective. And so that was our way of doing it.
Sure. And it's interesting because there have been bands that have established that artwork that's very iconic and it's character driven. And when they have gone away from it, it absolutely killed them. I'll point to Hammerfall as a great example. When they did their Infected album, that it might arguably be their best musical album they've ever done, and nobody knows it because nobody bought it because it wasn't the traditional look.
That's the point. I mean, on the one hand, maybe it's a mistake the way we are doing it, but on the other hand, I mean, if you want to have something like how can you say, how do you say it in something like a character like Eddie, for example, for Iron Maiden. I mean, that fits 100% to the music they're making, but we have a different approach of composing, and we talked about the variety of the album, and something like this wouldn't fit to us. And if you pick up some character that you want to establish, you have to have something that catches your attention. And most of the time, something that catches your attention is something brutal. Like a skeleton or whatever, or like a lion or something like this. And I mean, in the end, do you think something like a skeleton or a beast would fit to us? I don't think so.
Yeah, no, definitely. You couldn't be looking at a beast and then listen to like Angel of Dawn as an example. It just doesn't.
Right. Well, and I mean our music. We are all kinds of the 80s and maybe even from the 70s. We all like Deep Purple. We all like Whitesnake. We all love Rainbow and all that stuff. And those bands, they didn't need it. They even sometimes had different logo letters on the form of the letters, like the fonts. I think fonts is the right name. So they didn't even have the same logo on each album, and it worked. I mean, okay, it was a different time, but this is more our way of doing it.
Absolutely. Well, I mentioned Angel of Dawn. That is by far my favorite song on the new release. Talk a little bit about that song, because it definitely, it's my favorite song on it, but it is probably the biggest curveball on the record as well. It's very unique to itself when listening to Pride.
Yes. I guess we have some more stuff. You're the first one who mentions that song.
Okay.
Most of the people mention a song like Rusty Cadillac. So I don't know if you're familiar with our two first records, because Rusty Cadillac is a song we never had in that style before, like this shuffle rhythm. I don't know if you remember the song. It's a happy so to say happy song with a good vibe and this shuffle thing. So most of the people name that song, but I'm glad you name a different song, because that once again shows this variety that we are offering on the album. And Angel of Dawn, for me personally, is something in a tradition of like Black Sabbath or Ozzy. This slow, laid back drums with the heavy, big guitars and a little bit keyboard here, a little bit of keyboard there, and this I think we managed to have something in that slow drum segment. I don't know if you can say it this way. In Germany we would say it this way. This is a really slow song, but it's not a boring one. So we're really happy with it.
Sure. Now for you, Michael, which song or songs do you think came out best and felt the best when you recorded them?
Hard to say. I mean, in the end, as I told you, in the end, I was the one who picked the songs for the album. I mean, we didn't have that much more songs to be recorded. We only had this 12, maybe 2 or 3 songs more, but someone had to decide which ones to skip. And when I decided it, I already picked the ones that I liked the most. And I have to say, I don't have a favorite song. Not in the recording time, not now when I'm listening to it. So I really like every song. And you know, when the album starts and the intro starts, I get a good feeling, and I'm really happy, because after this the record starts with Hands of Time, which I really love. And when Hands of Time is running and I'm listening to it, I'm already thinking, oh, come on now, Line and Sinker is coming after that. And so it goes on and on until the record is over. And this is a pretty good feeling, to be honest. It's not I personally don't have a song that I would skip. And most of the people I talked to told me the same.
Sure.
So this is really cool, and another fact that we can be proud of. So
sure. As a musician and somebody that's done this for, you know, a lot of years, as you have, do you get sick of music that you've written yourself or written with the band because you play it so much? I mean, does it get, you know, we always joke on the show about how much we think Steven Tyler must hate singing Dream On at this point, because he sang it 10,000 times, and regardless of how much money it made him, you know, he sang it so many times. I mean, for you as a musician, do you ever get to the point where you're like, oh man, I really don't want to play this again?
No. And you know why? If you have the luxury that you wrote a song, or that you play a song that the audience wants to hear year after year,
sure,
record after record on each live show, then this is pure luxury. Mm-hmm. I mean, that shows that the people like what you're doing. And if they like what you're doing, give them what they like. I mean, right. It's, if they have a good time, I have a good time. I don't care. I mean, you know, I couple of years ago, I played in a cover band. And also there, when the people liked what we were playing, I really enjoyed the show. And I was not thinking, oh, I don't want to play that song again. No, right. It's my job to do it. And I have to be happy if someone wants to hear me playing the music they like. So easy. I mean, what is I don't have any, or let me say another way. If I would have a regular job, so to say, mm-hmm. like, you know, back in time, I studied to become a teacher. I never finished it, but if I now think about it, and if I think about I have to go to the school as a teacher from day to day,
right?
I mean, I would surely not hate it. No,
Right.
obviously not. I would like it, but I wouldn't love it like like being a musician. So
Right.
everybody who says, "Oh, I don't want to play that song anymore because I played it so often," yeah, come on, look for another job. You missed you're this is wrong. This is the wrong attitude.
Right.
Really.
No, I definitely agree. Well, from what I understand, Michael, you're going to have a lot of chances to play these songs from Pride. The Unity's going to be playing a lot of shows, it looks like, coming up, no?
Well, we already played some shows. 2 weeks ago, we were on tour with Rhapsody of Fire.
Right.
And next week, we start our tour with Freedom Call, another German band that you probably have heard of.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so we are really looking forward to this. And at the moment, we are making plans about let's say November, December this year, and we hopefully get some festival shows this year. And for me, I'm pretty busy with touring with pretty mates with Primal Fear. Sorry, with Primal Fear, because in May, June we are in the States for
Right.
4 or 5 weeks with Symphony X, and I'm really looking forward to this. So this will be a pretty busy year for me, and I'm really glad it is.
And that's with a new Primal Fear record, correct?
Yeah. The new, you know what? The new Primal Fear record comes out in summer.
Okay.
So it's maybe I don't know right now because we didn't talk about it, but maybe there's a chance that we play something new on this tour, but
Okay.
I'm not sure at the moment. So yeah, we have to wait for it.
Sure. Well, we'll definitely be waiting for that as well. But for now, the new album that you should be listening to is called Pride. It is from the band The Unity. And Michael, as a tradition on the show, we always let the artist pick a closing track from the song or from the album and maybe tell us a quick story about it. So what would you like us to play to wrap this interview up?
Okay. You know what? I would pick up Rusty Cadillac because
Okay.
it's a cool song. Puts you in a good feeling, in a good mood. It was a big challenge for me as a drummer to record it because of that shuffle rhythm. And every time I'm listening to it, I really love that track. So I would pick that up.
All right. Well, let's play it right now. It is Rusty Cadillac. It is The Unity right here on your Classic Metal Show.